to some of the cast members of Love Hate on this show a little later on. Okay, first though, following a whirlwind romance spanning 2 continents, my next guest married after just a year and a half together. Now they're really putting their relationship to the test, working all day, every day together on a new television show called Stepping Out. Have a look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Brian&Vogue. But just the two of us, we can make it if we try. Just the two of us, just the two of us. Every candle's in the sky, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is comfy.
That's good. Well, you're very welcome to the Vogue.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the beginning with you two, because I mentioned about romance and all that sort of thing. But where and how did you meet? Because every time I read or hear about how you met, you have a different story. So can we get the real one, please?
There's adultfinder.com. No, it wasn't. You tell the story.
You tell the story.
We met, he actually said before he didn't want to tell the story. I think he's lazy about it. You could tell the engagement story then, because that's even more boring.
I look forward to that, so. You really set it up well.
Yeah. We basically met in Crystal nightclub, but it was a function. It wasn't a nightclub that night. So we met in Crystal, and we just started talking for about 6 hours that night, and
Casual conversation.
Yeah.
I can't remember what we were talking about. You know, it's like a nightclub. Most of it was like, what?
Yeah. But had you spotted Vogue in the club at that?
One of my mates actually said I'd never known who Vogue was because I'd been in Australia.
Yeah,
One of my mates, Eddie, he goes, that board from Holt, Vogue is here, steady. And I was like, all right. And then I saw this girl walking, and she was like a foot above everybody else, like 6 foot walking. I was like, wow, she's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And he didn't say hello to me though. He walked by me after about an hour of me being there and just went, Vogue. And I was like,
and now Brian was...
I am a class act.
I mean, you must be getting that since you were
I've been
2.
getting that since, yeah, about 3 I've been getting that, so I was sort of like, okay. I didn't even know what I wanted to say hi. I was like, okay, just sort of kept walking to the toilet.
Why did they call you Vogue? I always figured that out.
Actually, that was my next question.
Yeah. Well, it could have been Big Issue, which would have been...
Yeah.
It wasn't my next question, but I'm going to make it my next question.
Why did they call me Vogue? Well, like, my mom's quite straight-laced as well. She wasn't a hippie or anything, so I don't know.
Yeah, but as Brian said, you could have been called Big Issue, Cosmopolitan, Playboy, anything, Farmer's Journal. Could have been anything at all. But they went
outside people.
even better. But you went to, you 6 hours conversation suggests you got on quite well. And where did you go on a date then after? Where did you head off to?
We went to the movies in the Omniplex.
Good, well that's really good.
And we went to see Hall Pass, and then Brian came to my mom's house and watched Harry Potter with me.
Okay.
And then, yeah, it was really exciting those first 2 days.
And the rest you can use your imagination.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian, for filling in the spaces there. You had, of course, Barry, you were kind of bouncing around from Dublin to Australia and coming and going. So how did you crack that one up in terms of Vogue and...
Well, when we met first, I was going back to Australia a couple of weeks later, and Vogue was actually going over to see her brother 3 weeks after that. And when she arrived, I just didn't let her go.
That's not true.
I don't remember.
That's not true. I was doing that play, Blow Up the Liffey Bridges, and it was finishing, and the day after it finished, I went to see Brian for a holiday for 3 weeks, and then just never came back. That was the story we made up.
You told your family that.
Yeah.
You're lying to someone about it.
I have no idea what's happening.
Neither do I, honestly.
I'm kind of getting a rough idea of what was happening. So did you tell your family you were going over to meet Brian?
I kind of feel like we're in the principal's office. Like, where were you and what did you do?
Yeah, that's because you're both spoofing, and I want to find out who's telling the truth.
I always tell the truth. I didn't want to tell my family I was just going to Australia to see a guy I just met, because it would have been a bit weird.
And your mum's a big West Side fan, it would have made it awkward as well.
Oh, she's not hot.
Is your mum a big West Side fan?
No.
There you go again. There you go again.
You couldn't let talk anymore.
Yeah, so it all happened really quickly though. I mean, when you did go to Australia, you stuck around, and within months you were engaged.
Yeah, well, we were basically living together from when I went over, because I was too stingy to get a hotel, so I was staying with Brian for the 3 weeks, and then I decided to stay for the whole 3-month visa, and then came home and moved back for a year.
Okay, and then you got married after about 18 months or something like that, pretty quick.
Yeah, it was around that, yeah.
Okay, why did you get married in Florence rather than Australia or Ireland or anywhere?
I don't know, we talked about different places. I think one of the main things for us was obviously we had so much family in Ireland and we had so much family and friends in Australia that we wanted to have somewhere that, because you know, if we did it in Australia, everyone in Ireland would get annoyed with us, and if we did it in Ireland, the Australians would get annoyed. So we said, right, we'll go somewhere where everyone has to travel and can get away. And Florence was, at the time we looked at a few places, and Florence was just beautiful, and the place that we found was perfect. So.
What do you mean by you thought everyone would get annoyed with you?
Everyone, our friends, the Irish people had to travel all the way to Australia for the wedding, and the Australians had to travel all the way to Ireland.
So midway-ish.
Perfect. Midway-ish.
Was he any use at organising at the wedding, or was it just you?
No, I think he sort of organised the band, sort of.
And who was it? Wasn't Westlife?
I rang the band.
So you rang the band, got that sorted out. So you were going into a relationship with a man who has children, obviously, and was that going to be an issue for you, Vogue, or did you consider this long and hard, or was it all about Brian, whatever way he is?
No, I don't really think I needed to consider it because I've had a stepdad since I was 8, so it wasn't really a big deal to me. And I'd met the girls before, and like they were at a nice age for me that we can go out and we do stuff together. We go to the cinema, we go shopping, so it wasn't really a big issue for me.
Yeah,
right.
Okay,
So
good.
I got lucky.
That worked out.
I won the children lottery.
Good. Well, that's a nice thing to say. And you would have been what, 28, 29 when you married, was it? When you got
Are
married?
you talking to Brian or me?
No, you.
No.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 26.
26. Sorry. Well, I was just doing the sums there. But you're 28 now, I see. But it's quite
No, I'm 27.
You're 27 now.
I'm 28 on Wednesday, and you can get me a massive present for that.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'll get you a lie detector. It's very young to be a stepmom.
Yeah.
So did you feel it was a difficult role to take on, or did you just embrace it? You mentioned that you have a stepdad, so you have been in that scenario before, so it must have been a bit...
I just embraced it. I mean, I fell in love with Brian, and he has 2 kids, so obviously I was going to take on the girls as well. So
how old are they now?
Yeah.
12, yeah.
Okay, and how are they?
They're very good. They're coming down to the show tomorrow to see us. They're our lucky charm. They came for the week we did streak, the week we actually won. And they didn't come last week, and we were rubbish.
Yeah.
So they've promised to come back for the final tomorrow.
But do you feel it even when they're sitting in the audience? I can imagine that when you know they're there, are you conscious of their presence in the building?
Absolutely. Well, I fell the night they were there, and it was the first thing when the thud hit the ground. The first thing I could see was my mum and dad and the girls sitting just looking, going, their eyes just open. I was like, oh, you big idiots! You already look stupid enough dancing around the stage without your 2 kids and your phone and your bum.
Yeah. And that's you're back in London now, so I presume it was the kids would have informed that decision, was it, to come back from Australia, because it's a long way.
Well, I wanted to come back for a long time, and I think work's obviously played a big part in it. And this has been the first year that I have had no commitments in Australia and was able to come back.
Yeah.
So it's been really great being close to them again.
Good on you. Okay. And what about you, Vogue? We spoke briefly on the radio because you took part in a gay rights parade not so long ago, which you were talking about. As we spoke before, you said that you felt quite nervous speaking at an event. Was it the public speaking, or was it the nature of the event, or was it being in town?
It was the public speaking with 3,000 people, and I was speaking with my sister Amber, and if I caught her eye, I would have just burst out laughing. So it was just really nervous, and it's like when I was never good at speaking in college or anything. I just always asked to sit down. So I'm grand here because I'm talking about myself and I don't have to act smart.
Yes.
So it was tough.
But tell me about why did you get involved in the event? Remind us what
I have a lot of friends that are gay, and I just think that I just don't understand why they don't have the same rights as us. I mean, obviously they can have civil partnerships, but it's not at all the same. So I just want them to be able to get married just like I did.
Right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Because like I said, I can get married as many times as I want, but they can only get married not at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is ridiculous.
Yes.
That's true, you know.
And how many times would you like to get married?
I don't know, well, I'm only second. I'm only second for now, so we'll see.
It will look bad if you go to a third.
I'm fond of a win, so we'll see. You never know.
Okay, let's talk about stepping out for a second. We saw a clip at the beginning of the interview, and you're in that. How are you finding it? Is it a tough grind, or are you enjoying the experience?
It's great fun, but it is a lot of tough work. I mean, it's every day. We haven't really had a day off for 6 weeks, so it is definitely tough, but it's so much fun, especially doing it together. Can you dance? I'm not thinking.
But we're going okay. We're getting better as we go along. I think the first couple of weeks was really hard because it's, you're starting from the very beginning and you're learning all these basic steps of these dances you've never even heard of. But as you go along, it seems to get a little easier, and we're taking it in quite quick. But you haven't got that much time. Like, you finish the show on Saturday night, and then you kind of start on the Monday. You got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off, and then Thursday. That's it. You got 3 days basically to learn a brand new dance.
And part of the show seems to be that they follow you as a couple to see, and they edit you and see if you're bickering or if you're kissing or whatever you're doing at the time. And what's your thing, your image as it were on this?
I mean, they're just there the whole time, so obviously I've been caught snapping at Brian, but Brian can be really annoying sometimes, so I can't hold it in. There's a few snaps this week and I'm really worried.
Why do you snap at him, mostly?
Because he can be quite lazy, and then if I'm lazy for like a minute, he has a meltdown. But he can be lazy for hours. You do. He freaked at me this week.
Yeah, because you were being unprofessional.
For the best of 30 seconds.
Yeah, but that's a very important 30 seconds, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel really bad about it.
Here's a headline from one of the papers. Stepping out is a blow to our sex life. Brian and Vogue are too tired to tango.
So glad my mom was watching this.
Is that a true story?
No, it's not a true story, but it's sort of gross that you're even talking about it, Brian.
Yeah, having to correct that is kind of weird as well, because our parents are watching. But we're virgins, so it's...
That's true. So there's nothing, everything else. Where did that story come from?
Brian.
Oh, somebody asked.
What did you say?
No, I didn't say anything. Somebody asked me, you know, was it again? Is it a helping with our sex? And I just said, no, we're so tired from dancing all day. I should have said that, should I?
No, because that turns into...
You think I know by now to keep my mouth shut?
You would think something. You would think. But that intensity you're describing of learning to dance and then being on TV, you know, doing stuff like this, does it enhance the relationship? Is it a strain for you guys?
Oh, definitely. It's made us closer, a lot closer, because, you know, besides the learning of the dancing, it is a competition too, and we're both very competitive. And when you're going through a challenge like this, it might sound like a challenge, but it is. It's tough learning how to do these dances, and it's physically demanding. And we've definitely grown closer from it. Yeah.
Can I ask you about Australia? Because you've had 4 #1 hit singles in Australia, isn't that right? And a platinum album, am I right in saying that? You had enormous success over there. And you'd always get the feeling you have a sort of fractious, difficult relationship with Ireland in some ways, and with some, say, the Irish media, press, generally speaking, people like me. But why do you think that is? Why do you think there's that people...
I don't know. It's weird that it's Ireland, because Ireland's my home country, and I'm Irish, and I'm a very patriotic Irish person. So I don't know why sometimes it's like that. But look, it's part and parcel of what we do. You know, if you're in the public eye, you got to take it as it comes. To be honest, I'm so over now. I don't really care anymore. I come home now and I have fun, and I see my family and friends, and I play golf. I go to the pub, and I don't really care what anyone says anymore in the papers. And I think it's just old news now.
And you feel that
I'm 33 now. I'm getting old, and thank God now there's people like One Direction stuff, so they can wreck their head for a while. So I'm glad now just to get old gracefully and enjoy Ireland again.
And would you like to get a #1 in Ireland and be successful here as well as in Australia?
You know, I just love singing. It doesn't really. I think the days of worrying about getting #1s and the amount of records you sold are gone. For me, it's just as long as I can do it forever, I'm happy. You know, as long as I can get up and sing. I don't care if it's karaoke in a pub, I'll do it. I just love singing.
Okay, well, you're going to sing for us tonight?
I am, yeah.
Well, why don't you make your way over there, and I'll tell everyone what you're about to do. Brian McFadden heading over. Why don't you sit and watch them here? And so, ladies and gentlemen, performing his brand new single, Time to Save Our Love, it's Brian McFadden.
All night and day, almost perfect. But now I see you looking through me like you don't know me at all. How come no one ever told me that I could end up walking alone? Sometimes I wonder if it's gone. To say I love. Well, I'm down in the pitch like a soldier, 'cause I told you you're one I wonder if it's gone away, the love. Somehow the words got lost along the way. I know it's sad, but it's true. We gotta rewind and start over. Turn back to page one. Not gonna let you go. It's time to say I love.
There you go. And that single from Brian McFadden goes unreleased today. Well done, Brian. Thank you very much. All right, competition time for you at home now. Tonight we have